Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Cork in the North podcast. We really do appreciate everybody that is with us on this difficult journey to success. As you know, we're back at our studio, our brand new studio. As you can see, investing a lot of money in that, which I'm delighted to do because I love doing this. And to everyone that listens every week, we really do appreciate everybody that's on board with us as well as we grow and try and get bigger as well. The live show is Sunday the 10th of December, and as I speak now, 60% of tickets are sold. If you want to come Sunday afternoon, it starts at 3 o'clock and it's done at 5 o'clock. We're going to have people from the world of sport, politics, comedy, and we also have live music as well. So something completely different that we're doing. Tickets are £10. That's all it is, and you're done by 5, and there's none of this getting a taxi home or babysitters and stuff like that. We're trying to make it as easy for people as much as possible. So also as well, a final reminder to sign up to the Patreon, £3 a month. You get 3 to 4 extra episodes a month. You also get discounts on the live shows and access to my tour as well for 2024 before everybody else as well. So some benefits there, and you can also get your questions read out on the podcast as well. So this week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by a man who has just come back from the Rugby World Cup. Stuart McCLOSKEY plays for Ulster and Ireland. He comes into Cork at the North Studios to talk all things rugby, talk about everything that went on in France over the last few months with the World Cup, as the Irish team did us very, very proud and very unlucky not to beat New Zealand in the quarter-final. Stuart, thanks very much for coming on to Cork in the North.
Not a problem.
Great to see you.
That was very polished.
Very polished.
Were you reading that off something, or is that just off the...
It's very polished.
Very polished.
Thank you. Hey, UTV, give me show. Give me TV show. Anyway, Stuart, good to see you.
Yes.
I saw on the news today, it's your first day back in training with Ulster Rugby.
Yeah, it was.
Since the World Cup.
It was indeed. It was a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah.
I was up cleaning my eldest son's sick at 1:30 in the morning. So getting up at 6:30 again to go in training was a bit of a shock.
Right, and to go in November as well, which you could have picked a worse month.
Yeah.
To get back in, you know what I mean?
It could be better. Although, I'll tell you what, having the artificial pitch is handy when it's not as muddy. There's no mud. There's none of that.
But it's not cut your knees a bit more though when you're going down, or are you wearing pads on the knees?
I was wearing lycra.
You're wearing stuff like that. Yeah.
I was wearing all fully swimsuit.
You had a baby during the World Cup as well, which when I remember, because obviously I've met your wife Hannah, and I knew she was having a baby obviously, and I saw on RT Stuart McCLOSKEY has left the Irish squad. What's he done? I was like, what's he done? Has he failed a drug test? And I was like, oh no, Hannah's due a baby. So listen, congratulations, second child for you. You must be buzzing.
Yeah. It was pretty incredible, like weird sort of 3 or 4 days. Managed to get home for the birth, and was basically back for about 48, maybe 72 hours, like quick stopover. Hannah had the child, straight back on a plane, had Casper, and I saw him again, I think about 10 days later when he came out to the Scotland game, which was handy enough as well, the game I played. So it was good to get on the pitch. But it's pretty whirlwind, and bit of a splash back to reality when I arrived home after we just got knocked out of the quarterfinals, and I'm changing 3-week-old nappy again at 3 o'clock in the morning. But listen, all good things come to an end.
You've had a crazy year though, haven't you? Really, I want to go back right to the Six Nations. Right, you started the first 3 games in the Six Nations, so you must have thought yourself, "Oh, this is good." You know what I mean? You're coming in, you get a Six Nations, obviously, to get into the squad. Obviously, I know you've played for Ireland, obviously, before and stuff like that. But like, when you went into the Six Nations, were you kind of like, "Oh, this is going well now"? Like, what was your feeling going in with it being a World Cup year?
Yeah, I kind of played all those. I played the 3 autumn games. Yeah. I played pretty well, nothing spectacular, and then was in pretty good form throughout the Christmas period. Got called in the Six Nations, which I wasn't surprised about. I knew it'd sort of be thereabouts, but I remember just coming to the end of the first week, we're in Portugal, and it sort of looked like I would be starting, and which surprised me a bit, not because I done anything wrong, but I think Bundy was coming back, or Bundy had just come back in, and Robbie was there, so it was a nice surprise to sort of be given that nod to go ahead and start like the first few games. And if it wasn't for an injury, I picked up tore my calf against Italy in that 3rd game, unfortunately, and I maybe could have got back for I think it was what game would that been? The Scotland game. It was close, touch and go, but Bundy was fully fit, so he went with Bundy, and since then, to be fair to him, he hasn't really looked back. He ended up being one of 4 players nominated for
World
Player of the Year.
yeah.
So don't know whether that's a bad thing or a good thing. Like it's hard to take. Obviously, he's playing ahead of me, but like big congratulations to him. Fair play. He's unbelievable. But on another day, if I don't tear my calf, do I play those games and I get that sort of recognition? But
you're comfortable at 11 and 12.
12 and 13.
12 and 13.
12 mainly.
12 mainly, but you do slide into 13 as well.
Yeah.
When you say you're out in Portugal and you say it looks like you were started, what's happening with the coaching staff and their way they're talking to you that makes it look like that you're started? Are they talking to you differently?
Not talking to you differently. You just get a feel. It's hard to explain. You get a feel for what teams are. They sort of mix up the teams if you're playing. Like there's obviously 36 guys in a squad, but it's 15 on 15 a lot of the time. So you get a feel for like if
are you on Johnny Sexton's side a lot kind of
honestly,
thing, like
that is if
you're on a Johnny Sexton side and Gary Ringrose is next year and you're going to hold on a second, I'm in the starting
or so what they do sometimes they put the 12 and 13 together, they put the 9 and 10 they're starting together, and they put the back 3 together, so they'll be on different teams, but you'll kind of get, if you're with Gary, you're probably 12 guys.
So you're reading it, saying they're not telling you, but you're going, they'll keep pairing me up here, and Gary always starts, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then obviously you get in on Monday, and then you'll know on Monday.
Yeah. So you start first 3 in the Six Nations. You do your injury. You kind of go away. You're now say we're coming into April, kind of thing. Like there's a World Cup coming up. Where are you then with yourself? Thinking yourself, right? I know that there's a 39-man squad or whatever that is that goes off to prelims and stuff. Are you in your head? You're thinking I should be in the 39. What way are you thinking? Like, you know the way they brought 39 wasn't
33.
33. No, there was 33 went to the World Cup, but there was 39. There was 6 players that didn't make it to France, but they went to the warm up.
There was a few. Yeah, it was 39 or 40. It could have been something like You're probably right. 39.
Yeah, 39. Yeah.
Whether it'll be in that.
Yeah, like in your head, I'm in the 39.
I can't you be in 39. Like I haven't done anything. Like I played pretty well, but won every game I played. Not that like me playing was the difference of but like joining a winning team was in pretty good form. And it kind of been the 4 of us for a while, like since the end of the summer before, and really for a few years. Like I'd always been thereabouts. I'd always been like the 4th out of the 4 of them. Really, like the guy was on the edge a lot of the time. So I knew I'd be in that squad. It was more not touch and go whether to go to the World Cup, but I would say I was about 80% sure at that stage that it was I would have gone, but there's still that doubt.
I know. Can I ask you, when you're playing for Ulster and you're coming to the end of the season with Ulster and obviously you're fighting for stuff like that, are you thinking about injury because of the World Cup? So for example, you know that like, look, we've 4 Ulster games left this season, but there's a World Cup coming up in 3 months. Like, are you thinking to yourself, Jesus Christ, are you nervous playing for Ulster then because you don't want to get injured? Do you see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a little bit in the back of your head that's kind of going, no, I'm 10% for Ulster here, but also there's a bit of you going, like, do I really need to play this game because it's World Cups in 3 months? You know, that kind of thing?
When you're not playing, when you're like downtime, when you're not training, but when you're actually training and when you're actually playing, you're not really thinking about getting injured. No. Especially when it's big games towards that part of the year, when it's like quarterfinals and last games of the regular season where you have to win games. You're not really thinking about it when you're actually playing, but if you pick up a knock or you get a bang after, you're like, oh, flip, hope that's not bad. Or if you're in the week and you're sort of sitting on the sofa at 9 o'clock at night, you're like, oh, flip, it'd be absolutely terrible here if I tear a hamstring and I'm out for 8 weeks. Yeah. But when you're actually playing, like, you'd be lying if you said you weren't thinking about it at all in the downtime when you're not doing stuff. But when you're actually training and playing, that's pretty. You're all go. You have to worry about too much other things. And get injured.
So you get called up to the 39. You go to Portugal, is it?
We did it. What did we do? We ended up with 5 weeks at home.
Well, you went to Dublin in August, didn't you?
Yeah, Dublin. No, July.
Oh, July. Sorry, you went to Dublin in July. Yeah. You went down. You went down. You came home. You went down. You came home.
Yeah, sort of 2 weeks on, 1 week off. 2 weeks on, 1 week off. Went to Portugal. Went to Biarritz.
Just to see. I was going to say O'Gara. He's La Rochelle. Sorry, my mistake. Go on.
It's all right.
My mistake.
Went to Portugal. Went to Biarritz. Squad was named in Biarritz, and then home for a bit of a dinner. Then off the big dinner, sort of.
Do you
away
when you're down in Dublin? You're training. Is the 13? Is it in the back of your head like, Jesus, am I going to be one of the 6 that isn't going, or are you going? Look, I might be the 4 of the 4. You know, that kind of thing, or how? you know, because, you know, Jordan Larmour didn't make it, Jacob Stockdale didn't make it, you know, like, is there a tension within the camp for some of the players who are maybe on the fringes? Like, how does that work there? Like, are they realising, oh shit, you know what, like, I need to really step up these 2 weeks, I need to really, you know, the way, like, you got Jacob and saying Keith Earls or something like that, like, are they like, is there a bit of tension between them because there's only one place? How does that dynamic work with the fact that 6 of these guys are going to go home?
It's pretty, like, it's a cliche thing to say, but like, it actually was a really, really good group of lads. There's no one sort of wishing bad, and like, I say that completely honestly, there's no one wishing bad on someone else, so they weren't like, I wasn't hoping that Bundy was going to have a bad day or like doing injury. I genuinely wanted the best team to be out there, and whether I was in it or not, like, he was probably the best team at that stage, so I was happy enough that he was fit. But like, no, everybody was looking out for each other. Like, do we think about it a lot of the time? Yeah, you're thinking about it every day, nearly, because you're in that environment. You're always chatting to people. You're in a hotel. Lads are going around to have cups of tea at night. Like, the Ulster ones would probably have cups of tea at night together and stuff. And
really?
Yeah, like, not all the time, but like, you'd have boys who'd get some chocolates and would sit around and chat for an hour. And I wouldn't always do it rugby.
Faz isn't talking to me today, like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Genuinely stuff like that, weird stuff. It's like kids, like 15-year-old kids chatting about getting picked for a school team, like,
because there's a lot riding on it for people, you know.
Like, probably potentially the last time I could have a go on the World Cup. Same with Handy, same with Rob. So the other lads are a bit younger, they have another opportunity probably. But yeah, if you get injured, you're probably gone. Yeah, if training's not going that well, you have to go absolutely terribly. But yeah, if training's not going well, you're.
How do you get told you're going to the World Cup?
You didn't. You got the other people that weren't going got told.
Okay,
so you find out.
Okay, so how does the system work? So, for example, you get told, say, you get told in Biarritz, what is it, say a Monday or something. Are you all in a tea room, or are they get a knock on their hotel room, or how does it work? How do you
get sort of
pulled in,
picked off, like sniper picking people off? Yeah, you just.
So, say for example, I wasn't going. I was picked not to go, and I'm in the tea room with you guys, and I've just had my breakfast, and next thing you know, I'm walking through the foyer. It's like, Faz, mate.
Yeah.
Listen, just to let you know, man. Appreciate everything you've done for us, but we're just not going to be taking you forward to the World Cup. And is it literally like just on a corridor? Is there like
no?
I
you know what I mean? Have this conversation, but when I haven't been playing game, it's pretty like you're like, oh, here, can I grab you just for a quick chat, and then love out there.
Jesus, but like it's like the X Factor. Are you going to judges' houses?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it must be terrifying when you get that quick chat, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we didn't know it was coming that few days. We thought it might be after the Samoa game, and I think it was 2 or 3 days before. 2 days before the game. And I was rooming with Jacob, and he just came back to the room and was like, just had a chat with Faz, like, I'm not going, but...
And how was he? Obviously devastated,
but he was fine. He actually played really, really well that time against Samoa as well, because he played that Samoa game, but he was obviously knew he wasn't picked.
And he still played?
He still got picked for the game, and he played really, really well. And
do you think, Jacob had been out for a while, 364 days in total, and so for him to come back into the Irish squad so quickly, it's a fantastic achievement for him. But do you think it was just a bit too soon for him, kind of thing, or that type of thing? Because you kind of feel because that he has another World Cup in him, like what I mean, like easily, like
definitely. When he's playing his best rugby, he's one of the best wingers in the world. But I think James Lowe was playing so well; it was always going to be tough to get in there, and it's just obviously the configuration of what he was going for, the back threes, and there's 5 of them going.
If you can play in more than one position, you kind of have a better chance, don't you? Because you can cover, like, you know what I mean?
A tiny bit. I think people read too much. I remember reading some people read too much into that.
Yeah,
it's like you'd rather have someone who's very good at doing one thing, I always think, than have 3 or 4 guys that are jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. So I think there's a degree where you need a guy, 1 or 2 guys that can do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, if you're coming to a quarter-final or a semi-final of the World Cup, you want the best player out there, not just some guy that can just sort of play the position.
I mean, who knew Gibson Park was a winger?
Although,
you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Class.
I'd say if he played a prop, he'd probably be a solid player as well. You know what I mean?
I'd play centre better than me, which is a slight issue. But
so the players get told they're not going. When do you find out that the last player's being told? Is there a WhatsApp group? Do they all like? How do you what's the do they all get deleted out of a WhatsApp group, or are they all shipped onto a bus within an hour? Like, how does it work? Is there a goodbye party for them? Like, what's the crack with that? How do they actually leave?
You find out sort of through osmosis. You just kind of by the end of the
Chinese
day,
whispers, like.
Yeah, Chinese whispers. You kind of just get a vibe, and you'll be talking to people and just know. And then eventually, I think Faz did maybe a meeting on the day after the Samoa game, just let everybody know what the crack was and he was leaving, and then you do your goodbyes. And literally, I think we left Biarritz after the Samoa game the day after. Said goodbye to all the lads that weren't going, and then we went home we went straight back, had like a big dinner down in Dublin. All the guys that were going, and then had a few days off, and we were away.
Are they out of the WhatsApp group?
I think they were, yeah.
That's harsh.
That's harsh, isn't it? Yeah.
That is harsh, like.
Yeah, it's a quick call, like.
And then you got to think of Cian Healy there now as well. You know, Cian Healy getting injured. You know, he was going to the World Cup.
He didn't get cut from the WhatsApp group, though.
But he didn't. Why?
No, he didn't. I don't know why he didn't, but he didn't get cut.
Cian Healy stayed in the WhatsApp group
because
he was injured. They probably said no, he's not being cut.
I think
he's
such
just
a
injured.
big personality. He's been there so long, and no one wanted to cut him out.
Yeah, because like I'd heard a rumor. Now you might heard that he could have been fit for the semi. Would he have come back out if someone else got injured, like a Ronan, or if someone got injured? You know, because you can bring them back out again, can't you?
Yeah. Well, he never went out, so you could bring him out at any stage. It would just someone have to be injured.
Yeah,
but I think he was fit. Yeah, the week after the quarter.
Yeah.
Semi,
Crazy. So you get picked, you're going, you're like, Jesus, this is an opportunity. You know, it's a lifetime. We're going to the World Cup in France, possibly with the strongest squad we've ever had. The banter's good. The lads are good. Can I just very quickly ask you? Remember, I was watching a documentary about England soccer team, and there was always the United players in one table, the Liverpool players in the other table. Is there a Munster table? Is there an Ulster table? Is there a Leinster table? Is there a Connacht table? Because there's a lot of Leinster players in there.
Yeah.
So was there a bit of a province rivalry, or genuinely was this a group that was just completely? Because I've seen Sexton kick the shit out of Conor Murray, like.
Yeah.
When you know what I mean? When Leinster are playing, and now they're like
a couple accidental probably Leinster tables just because there's so many of them. You can't be beside two Leinster players at one time. But,
you cannot be beside two Leinster players at one time.
What is there, like 20?
Just the Ulster fellas are just up the north of the room, like just in the corner. You know what I mean? Just with a different flag above them, like.
No, it just come down and say, here if you want, like there wouldn't be too many cliques. There wasn't like
it wasn't any cliques.
No, it was actually it was very good, and especially towards the end of it. See, when you've done 3 months together, it's just like you
can't have a clique, really.
Best mates. Yeah, it's all best mates. Like, I genuinely would consider a lot of those guys very, very good friends now.
Yeah. So you come back, you have a dinner. It was the partners invited as well.
Yeah.
Was this sort of like, right, this is us, this is the group. Faz there.
Yeah, Faz, all the staff.
Does he let his hair down much, Andy Farrell? Is he good crack, like?
Yeah, I've seen him a few times let his hair down.
Does he have a few pints, like?
Yeah, he'd have a few pints.
Has he good laugh, like?
I don't know if I consider him. It's hard to.
Does he keep a boundary? Does he keep a boundary with you, or does he properly get stuck in? Or does he keep that boundary?
I've only ever seen him really let his hair down once.
Right. What was that?
That's. Still want to play for Ireland, so.
well, when you retire, Stuart, we'll get you back in. All right,
back in. Sure.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Does he ever talk about his son, Owen? Much because he's managing Ireland. Because I often thought if we'd have beaten New Zealand, we would have had England in the semis, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's a tough day for the Farrell family, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
someone's going home. Someone's going home.
Obviously, he has wife out all the time. She was there, but she'd go down to the England game and then come straight. And Owen has 2 sisters and Andy has 2 daughters as well, and a very younger son. Kate, that's bad. But he's only 12, and he was at every game. So they're going down to watch some of the games and immediately get the train to come straight back up to watch the Ireland games. So they're sort of caught in the middle. But no, he wouldn't speak about. That. Like you could. I remember the red card before. Small chatting about it really with him, nothing. But yeah,
because he came out fighting in the media, didn't he? About it, like,
yeah,
you know.
So it must be tough. Like if I was my son, like he obviously wanted to do very well, but
it's a difficult position.
Yeah, I think they're both so competitive. It would be both want to win if they're playing, especially Owen because he's actually playing. But
yeah, so you go off to France, right? Do you get like a couple of nights out or anything before the first game against Romania? Is there a bit of party, a bit of crack? Like, is there a bit of banter? Is there who's like the judge and the jury of the problems? Who's late? Who's fined? What's the crack? I've heard like there's a few things like that going around. You know, where if you're late for a meeting, you get fined or you've got to do a dance. I've seen it in like the Lions videos and stuff like that. Like, is there stuff like this organised?
Yeah. There's like loads of different committees for different things. Like there's the sheriffs there, and then on the bus we had a bus to train every day. Which is about 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, and we'd do all like the fines and Someone was doing tourism. Someone would do weather. Someone would do just all like.
What do you mean tourism? Though, what's that?
So like me and Handy were doing tourism, so you'd have to find like facts about where we were, what was good to do,
all
that sort. But try to make it a bit jokey, and then someone would be doing best coffee shops, where to eat. It sounds like, if you say it like, it sounds quite boring, but it's actually quite funny when everybody does their own wee bit, and there's joke of the day and all that, like just loads of wee things.
Daft stuff, just to kind of get you through as well. Like,
just daft stuff. Like, it would be the bus journey. Like, it would go on for 15 minutes, the bus journey. And like, you get booed off. Like, boys would get booed off the bus sometimes. And it's just good crack. It was very good.
Yeah. Did you have to stand up as well? You did the tourism stuff?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff are you saying?
Just load of
nonsense.
Random facts.
So you're on Wikipedia, like the night before.
Like fully researching this sometimes. Like doing good. Like Handy's very good at like all his historic stuff. So he'd actually do like proper, like, we 5 minutes on like where we were and things like that. I try to make mine a bit more like jokey, and I'd like have people just like rip people in there sometimes. But it was pretty good. That's
brilliant. So you get there. First game is approaching Romania. Did you think you were going to maybe get a run out against Romania? Because obviously, you know, if you're saying that you're number 3 or number 4, so that Romania obviously not the strongest opposition, or because I heard on the grapevine, I'm not saying who told it to me, but I heard that Farrell's idea was full strength day one.
I thought I'd play that game. I thought
I thought you'd play that game as well. Tonga. Yeah. I thought you'd at least have featured in one.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I was getting worried. Yeah, I did think it'd feature, and then obviously it came down to it, and he just told me he wanted to go with basically that team that you consider the strongest team. So because Johnny hadn't really played, so I completely understand it. Like, it seemed it's probably a smart thing to do, is where have all the guys playing together and get a bit of cohesion. But I obviously felt like the way he spoke to me and the things that were said, like, he had full confidence in me if it came down to it. Like, he was happy to put me in a game if Bundy was injured. So
he comes to communicate and says, look, he's just like, Stuart, look, this is what I'm doing for this game, but you know, don't worry, your chance will come, kind of thing. Is that what he says? Or is it just like
not even your chance will come? Just be ready. Like, I don't think he wouldn't promise. He's not a guy to give like false promises to guys. Like, oh, you definitely get a chance here. Like, we're going out there to win a World Cup. I think you want to play your best team a lot of the time. They all we were 4 points short of doing the job. So you can't really say what he was doing was wrong. So I think everybody was just ready all the time to go if they needed to go. Like, I wasn't meant to play that Scotland game. I think someone got injured during the week on the Tuesday, so that's why I jumped in.
Did you go out after the first game, Romania? Were you allowed out after every game to go for nights out?
You could. It was, no one really went that.
I know it was big. The games finished quite late, but like,
it was early. The first one was early.
Oh, it was an early one, yeah. Did you maybe just have 2 bottles or 2 pints or kind of thing, or it wasn't like a 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning job? Like, I'm talking like a bit of food, a few pints with a bit of dinner. Like,
he'd be big on have a few. Like, we play the game, we'll have a few. If you want to relax, have a few beers after. There'll always be full like free bar there for as long as you want in the night out, like after the games, and there's no like
you have to police it yourself.
But it's not even police it. Like, guys, when you're at the World Cup, it's probably different where guys are more. There's no like messing around really, because everybody wanted to go like do well, so you don't want to get too wrecked. But like, if you had 8 pints after the game, 7 or 8 pints, like, no one would frown upon it. No one would be. There's nothing to do the day after. All you do was get up at 12 and get a train back to our hotel. It wasn't. It was fine.
Day off, like that.
Yeah, like I would have had 4 or 5 pints after all the games. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So you beat Romania. You do the job against Tonga. You're not involved against Tonga. Did he speak to you again before Tonga?
Same sort of chat. Yeah, nothing.
Be ready.
No, nothing different. Like, it's not. Yeah.
Are you getting frustrated? 2 weeks in, 2 games that you thought you would have maybe had a run. You're like going, what's going on here? Like,
yeah, frustrated, but not in a way that I thought would be detrimental to other people. Yeah. Like, I think there's a couple. It was me and Jimmy O'Brien ended up being the ones that hadn't played. We were like the latest on. Like, we were still. I only played Scotland, and he actually played the quarterfinal. But yeah, it's just like a running joke between us, like when we're gonna.
But who's going to be the one that doesn't play?
The one that doesn't play. That was the.
You know what I mean? It's like the third choice goalkeeper. You know, the Soccer World Cup. That like there's always 3 goalkeepers.
I think guys are quite conscious when you're in that environment not to be not to be the one bringing the atmosphere down, not try to drag people down.
Yeah, because your job is important for morale and banter. Like, even though you're not playing, it's okay. We're still not even together. Like,
yeah, a bit of that, but like not even. You'd be surprised how quickly the guys that aren't playing on a team. I've only played rugby, but I've heard it many things. The guys that aren't playing can drag the rest of you down fairly quickly if they're getting toxic and they're getting always narking about things, always complaining about not getting playing. It drags any team down, and you can't really afford that when you're in a group like that for so long. So I think we're trying to be conscious if we're being larky and ratty about things, to try to do it with guys that we're also not playing, not with guys that are playing, trying to like worrying them about that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So you do Romania, you do Tonga, and then come South Africa.
Yeah.
Right. Are you home at this point? Are you over and back, or did you go? Was Hannah have?
No, I was still there.
Casper.
Yeah. No, I was still there.
Yeah. Oh, you were still there.
So
okay.
I stayed for the game, and I literally flew home. I think I left the hotel at 6 o'clock next morning.
So I want to ask you about the build up to the South Africa game, because when I watched it here, now I don't know what sort of. I know you're probably looking at Twitter or TikTok and Instagram, and you're seeing like, you know, maybe some pics or typing in hashtag Irish Rugby, and you're having a look at like who's out and are people actually watching us. Like, I know the stadiums are good and stuff like that, but I went out to watch the South Africa game in the Belmont Bowling Club, and I was very nervous about the game. Right, I was very nervous about it because obviously I wanted Ireland to win, you know. And what is the team talk like for a game like that? Because, you know, the night, when does he do the main team talk? Is it the night before or the morning? When is they, you know, does he bring in an emotion to it? Like, how did the South Africa team talk go? Like, was there a big meeting where, you know, we've seen these Andy Farrell speeches on YouTube, you know, the Hurt Arena and all this kind of stuff. Like, when does the team come together and go, right, this is it, lads? When is there a meeting like that? Is there a meeting like that?
It sort of builds through the week. You kind of build it through the week, and then he does only before the game. You get when you arrive, 5 minutes after you arrive, when you've got your stuff all down, we'll do like a team meeting, and he'll give like his sort of.
And how long does he talk for? 10 minutes?
No, not even 5 minutes.
What kind of stuff was he saying before the South Africa game? If you don't mind me asking.
Couldn't even.
Is he bringing in? Is he bringing in your families? Like, is he bringing emotion out of you? Like, how does he do it? Like, what does he doing to get you guys focused? And even though you are focused because you're professional players, but you know, you hear of these big speeches and stuff. Is there something coming from him? Because that team looked pretty possessed that night against South Africa. Like,
it was like a running joke. Like, he never missed. I've never seen him miss on a pre-match speech. Like, the guy, I don't know what it is about the way he speaks. It just gets people going. It's not shouting. It's not do it for this, do it for your country. He always just has the right word, like the right way of saying it. And even when he says something wrong, it still comes across like well. Do you know, guys? If you've ever heard like people are making speeches and they don't completely get their words right, and they mix it up. Even when he like gets things mixed up, he still recovers it so well, and he still always speaks with like such authority. I think people just when he says something, you just believe it. Like
he's a new Jack Charlton, isn't he?
I don't know.
But was there anything that stood out for you about any of his speeches? You know, against maybe South Africa that you went, oh God, lads, I see, you know, I'm up for this, even though, you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I remember sitting beside Jimmy, and like, I'm up for this. I want to play. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm just going to do warm up here. I'm trying to think what was said. That was. I'd love to see it back in video. Actually,
was there a camera crew with you filming you?
No,
for like a series or anything.
I'm sure there was videos in the change room at the time, but I'm not sure if it was caught. I'd love to give you exactly what it was, but I can't remember, and I wouldn't want to mix it up.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'd say it's always about backing ourselves. It's normally something around like believing in ourselves, backing ourselves, have a bit of swagger. We've been the best team. Like, we are the best team. You need to believe that you are the best team. I know that's what some of it was.
You're number one for a reason.
You're number one for a reason. That kind of vibe.
Just reinforcing.
Yeah, reinforcing. Like, you got to have that belief in yourselves.
Yeah. So you beat South Africa. You go home. Beautiful baby born. You come out of a bubble.
Yeah.
And you're like, when you like left the hotel, was it like, how did it happen? Did you get a phone call to be like, you need to get home now? Or was it, you know what I mean? Or
no.
was it did you kind of know it was going to be around this time kind of thing? Like,
yeah, Hannah told me she was going to get induced on Sunday or Monday. So it was, very handy time. I think she had planned that, so she had. But yeah, interesting story. Trying to get home, I obviously we give her passports to the team manager when we get in, so she just looks after them. So we went from Tours to Paris, and I went there on the Saturday, just the morning before the game. I was like, "Oh, here, Geraldine, can I grab that passport off you?" She's like, "Oh, I don't have the passport. The passports are all in Tours." And I was like, "Right, well, how are we getting home?" And she's like, "Right, we'll try to sort it." So after a load of phone calls, it's just basically like, "Right, we'll wing it." I've got on with Aer Lingus, and they say he should be all right. So I arrive at Paris, Charles de Gaulle, no passport, just a driver's license in hand. And
that's only normally between Ireland and England you can do that, not between Ireland and France.
Yeah, the guy, you should have seen some of the police looking at me when I went up. The person at customs when you go up. So the Aer Lingus desk person was like, he was French, and he was like, "What?" Like, and a few phone calls, someone came over, blah, blah, blah. He's like, here's your ticket. Here you go. And took my bag. I only had carry-on bags. So he's like, "Here's your ticket," basically. And I was like, right, sweet. That didn't go that well. I thought this would be...
Was there nobody from IRFU with you?
No.
You're just on your... But they've obviously...
But they've
did you have a letter or anything? Like?
No, nothing. Like, zero. It was just like winging. I'm not to say they hadn't tried to work it. Like, they should work really hard to try to get this sorted. And it wasn't really either of our fault. Like, partly my fault. I probably should have asked for a passport before. I assumed she always had the passports. That's why I didn't ask. But yeah, got to where the security is. So that you go through before they do the customs before you get into the duty free. And got to the place, and I was like, "I don't have a passport here, but this is a driver license." Someone said it was sweet, and they're like, no. Like, calling other people and telling me to go back. Some French guy tries to translate it behind me because I was with one of the guy's girlfriends, and he'd heard what was going on and tried to translate. He walks up, and they're like, "No, back, like go back." So I was sitting there. So for about 15 minutes, like people all looking around and standing there.
You should be like, "Play for Ireland, mate."
Honestly, at one stage, I had like an Instagram picture of me with the Grand Slam. I was like, "I'm here playing. I need to go home to get see the birth of my child." And eventually, a few police, I think they came over. Someone rang them and said, "Yeah, it was sweet. Go ahead." So managed to get home with no passport.
But you had to get back as well.
Yeah, we got the passport sent. So one of the girls,
got it sent off.
Was flying home. They had a few days off, and a few of the wives that went out. So one of the wives that brought it back with them on the plane and left it in the airport or the airport hotel.
Jesus, man, the stress of that. That's the last thing you needed.
Didn't tell my wife at all. I just left it. I was like, no,
does she know now?
No, I didn't tell. Yeah, she knows now. Yeah,
she knows now. Well, if you didn't, Hannah, just want you to know, this man moved from one country to another country illegally to see the birth of your child. Well, it's his child as well, I imagine. What he's joking. Right, now, I want to talk to you. You beat South Africa. Buzz. That night, everyone must be like, "That's fucking on, lads. Like, this is on."
Yeah.
What was the vibe? Because when I saw it, I booked the final. After you beat South Africa, I booked the final. I messaged you. Yeah. I booked the final. I booked the flights and I booked the hotel and went, "This is on." The whole country and all my mates were like, "Lads, it's on." Yeah. Like, it's never been so on before.
I was checking the bonuses. I was like, "What do we get for the win?" No.
You still get the same bonus if you don't play?
Yeah, everybody gets the same. Cool. That was their wrong thing as well. Everybody gets paid the same for the ones that
even if you don't play.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Like, it was one thing keeping us going. If you hadn't got a game, yeah, which is dark enough actually now you think about it, but it was small wins.
Small wins. So you beat South Africa. What's the vibe with the lads? How was everyone talking after the game?
Yeah, positive. It wasn't like we won the World Cup. I think Scotland had got on. Scotland said something in the media after that, like, "Oh, we got on like we won the World Cup when we beat South Africa." It actually wasn't like that. I think guys literally just wanted to go around and thank the fans because they were incredible that night. But yeah, it was really good vibe. Boys had a few days off. You guys went to Paris.
You had 10 days off, didn't you? 2 weeks.
I went, but we had 3 days of off where guys could go away in France. So yeah, guys, we had a few beers that night. Nothing big again because it was actually so late by the time we got back to the hotel. Maybe like 12 or 1. A few beers that night. And yeah, it was a really good vibe. But people just dispersed. I actually didn't really get to feel that vibe after because I went home for the baby. But I think guys had a few good days in Paris, the ones that were staying having a good night out.
Yeah. So Scotland comes up, and before the Scotland game, I was watching the press beforehand, and Blair Kinghorn had come out because Scotland, I'll be honest with you, they think they scored 3 points against South Africa in the first game. Obviously, they won the other games and stuff. And Blair Kinghorn had come out and said, we're going to knock Ireland's unbeaten run and stuff like that. And as somebody who's an armchair fan, I just thought to myself, boy, oh boy, what a stupid thing to say. Yeah. Keep your mouth shut. Because one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you were all told this or you were all trained this in the Irish rugby camp, was every press conference you did was positive. Every press conference you did was positive about the other team that you were playing. Yeah. And I don't know, are you media trained that way? No. At no point was anybody slagged off or any other team slagged off. Ireland beat South Africa, Andy Farrell. Oh, South Africa, an amazing team, a great battle, blah, blah, blah. There was none of this whinging about the ref, whinging about this. But this Blair Kinghorn guy comes out, oh, we're going to do the job. And I just thought to myself, are you listening to this? Have you seen this as well? Are you talking about this? Or do you not? Or do you be like, have you seen this Kinghorn fella? Like, how does that go around the camp when someone says that in the media that they're going to...
Well, I don't think we did that. Coaches definitely didn't bring that up, so it wasn't like a thing. But I think we'd all saw, like, what is this? Like, what's he on about? But like, we're nervous about that game as well, even though we know we're a better team. We always have like a lot of respect for all teams, no matter who we play. Yeah. And there's never any like, we're far better than these guys, we're going to hammer them. So I don't know what they've been saying, like what they're saying in their meetings and where they're getting this confidence from, because it's admirable, like, but I'd argue it's completely delusional, some of the stuff they're saying. Like, they've got some good players and a lot of good guys in that team, but I don't know where all the swagger and the confidence. They've had a few good wins here and there, but
it was just I was just a bit baffled by it. I thought it was how's that going? Strange. You've scored 3 points against South Africa, and now you're coming up against the number 1 team in the world who's just beaten South Africa, and you're going around saying you're going to do us. And then after 2 minutes, I was like going. I was like going, 10 Jesus.
Minutes or so scored. Or
well, no, it was 2 minutes. Or so.
Yeah, it was not.
You came on after what? What did you come on?
20 odd, yeah.
20. So you're in the squad for this. How do you get told you're in the squad for that? Because obviously I want to do this in the order. So you haven't played the first 3 games. Yeah. You're a bit like, oh, what the hell? Yeah. Your baby's been born. You come back. You're like, oh my God, I have 2 kids now. You need to earn a bit more money. You know what I mean? You start getting some game time. You need to get some sponsorship. But like, what does Faz say to you when you come back?
Nothing different. Just like usual. Like, you're training well. We were all training well, to be fair. But just be ready. And then I think the team was named. The team wasn't named actually, but you got a vibe what the team was on Monday. And then I think it was Earlsey or Robbie, maybe Robbie, pulled out with a hamstring injury, and then I went on the bench. He was just like, "Yeah, you're up. We're going to stick you on the bench this week." I was like, "Sweet." Yeah.
You buzzing?
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
I was a bit nervous. Like, I wouldn't be like a particularly nervous person, but yeah, it was a bit nervous. Yeah, but nothing.
And you come on, and I remember watching you come on. I went, "Oh Jesus!" I was like, "Here he is." And you walked onto that pitch. You were just like, "Yeah, whatever, mate." I love that. I love when you walked down. You were just like, "Yeah, whatever." You just you over there. And it was just water off a duck's back to you.
I was, yeah.
But it probably wasn't.
I probably sound a tiny bit arrogant, but like, I know I'm decent enough. I know I'm a pretty good player. Like, it's not.
Well, if you're at the Rugby World Cup for Ireland, mate, you are a decent player. Like,
and I was telling Handy throughout, and again, I'll probably Handy and a few of the other guys throughout. It's like if you want a guy to come in and play whatever it is, like a quarterfinal, a semi-final, or a final, have not played a game, and you need someone to come in and play a game. Like, I think I'm your man. Like, I'm fine. It's not going to particularly bother me that much. I'm pretty confident with what I do. Like. And that was kind of how I rationalised it to myself when I did get a game. It's not. I don't think it's a delusional confidence. I just sort of know what I can do. And I played rugby now for 11, 12 years professionally, so I kind of know I can go out there and play my game now. I'm not worried about it too much.
Yeah. So you come on, you're playing against Scotland. Does the occasion? Are you fully aware of the occasion, or is this just another game? How do you? Because you know the fans and the Scots and the stadium, you're like, Jesus Christ. Or are you just going in and you straight into just sync mode, this is rugby, and is it just another game of rugby for you?
I think when I was sitting on the bench, I was like, oh, it's a pretty big occasion. And then when I got on, I was just like, this is rugby, it's just get on with it. You have to there's a lot to think about out there, so don't.
Did you enjoy the Scotland game?
Loved it, yeah, it was class. Yeah. It was really, really good. It's nice when you're winning by, I think we were 33 nil up at one stage.
I mean, it was Scotland didn't score in the first half, and it was just a bit like what's the halftime team talk with that game? Because like everyone's saying like, oh, this is a big game. Ireland could go out tonight. I didn't think it was going to happen. Scotland are in the press saying they want to do a job for you. You're 33-0 up at half time. Is there a part of you like, oh, Jesus? Like, what's Faz saying to you at half time in that game?
Yeah, I think we scored 4 tries. We were maybe 26-0 up at half time. 26, I make something like that anyway. I think it was really positive. It's just keep doing what you're doing. Like we said we were going to do this. We've went out and we've done it. Like that's exactly what we want. A few fix-ups here and there, but pretty positive. Like just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Don't get carried away with yourselves. Like don't try to do too many stupid things. You're so far ahead. I think go out there and do it. And that's pretty much what we did for the first 15 minutes of it.
Is it a sort of like he's just kind of saying to you, like, keep doing the basics, keep the basics right, keep it tight kind of thing, keep
not even just tight, like space. He's always like play the space. If you're 5 meters out from your own line and there's space, go play it. It's not not a bad decision if that's the decision we make. Go make, like that's what you have to do. But yeah, I remember that they were starting to fight when we were 33-0 up, and I was like, lads, what are you doing? Like, I remember Richie Gray tried to headbutt, like was basically headbutting me. I was like, what? Like, he's 33-0 down here. And like, I was like, I'll catch you next week, man.
Is that what you said to him?
Yeah. Because like, they're clearly going home.
That's fucking... Because obviously, who was it? Peter O'Mahony had a few scrapes with Scots, didn't he?
Yeah. I saw him. He said something about Blair Kinghorn.
Yeah.
Being delusional after.
But what kind of... What's the call it? Like, the comments on the pitch with the Scots guys, and you're like, when Peter had to go with a guy, they were back and forth, and the Scottish number 10, what's his name?
Oh, Finn Russell.
Him and Finn Russell had a right Barney. But like, I was looking at Finn Russell going, mate, you're 33-0 down. Keep your mouth shut, man. You're going home.
Yeah, to be fair, Finn is world class, and I
yeah.
don't think he has best game that night. Nice guy. He's obviously a sense up to Pete. I think he said something about being old, and Pete's like, I know I am. Like, what are you on about? Like, I'm old, and we're still 26-0 up here, pal. So let's just keep going. And I think they were going back and forth. There's a few worse things than that said. Actually, now I've remembered it, but I can't say it. So yeah.
You tell me off camera. To patrons, message me and I'll let you know.
I will tell you. I'll tell you off camera. Funny, like Pete is very.
Pete's fast, isn't he?
Pete is very fast and with it, that sort of stuff. Surprisingly so. But he's. So I'm like, it was actually very funny, but I couldn't say it. Like,
we will get this said off air.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. Right, you beat Scotland. Right, now, New Zealand. Can I just say that today was the only time since the New Zealand game that I actually watched the second half. I watched the second half for the first time today. I haven't watched it. I'll tell you why. The New Zealand game was on the same night I was doing the Opera House in Belfast with Shane Todd. And I watched the first half with Shane Todd. And the second half came on, and I was on stage in front of 1,000 people at the Opera House. And I came off, and they put a television side stage for me. And I flicked, and I looked at it at about 54 minutes, and I just went, I'm all right. I don't want to watch it. And I didn't watch it, and I caught the last sort of 5 seconds, and I just couldn't put myself to watch it. I was that nervous. So how was the build-up for that? What was the crack like? Was the confidence good? Were the players ready? Was it just like, look, it's knockout rugby now, or was it just the same as any other game? Like, what was the kind of the atmosphere like?
You all know it's knockout rugby, and atmosphere was good. Like everybody, we were confident, but it wasn't overconfidence. Like I think guys were still worried. Like were very worried about it, and obviously we should have been in the end. But like it wasn't. We didn't think it was going to be a walkover. We knew it was going to be a tight game. It was probably going to come down to 2 or 3 points either way, and like it's easy to say now. I thought we played probably the better rugby on the night for most of the time, but they were just incredibly clinical. Not just from watching from the sideline. So,
how are you feeling watching it?
Oh, so nervous. Like,
you're all the guys that aren't on the bench stuff. Like, you're sitting there. Are you just like, oh, for fuck's sake? Like, are you like, how are you on your phones? Like, what are you kind of doing?
Sorry. No, just watching. We're up beside the coaches, and you're just like a fan. Like I'm sitting with a whip on here, and it tells you heart rate and all. My heart rate's averaging like 110, 115 the whole time.
Jesus,
you're just on the edge because you can't do anything when I suppose you're just a fan as well. At that stage, you've a fan, but actually really part of the team, and you're Yeah, you're just living and breathing every moment of it.
And are you allowed to go into the changing room at half time?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the messages at half time roughly? What's Faz saying? Because Ireland, we never led in the game, but we were so well in the game. Like what I mean, like when I from the first half that I watched it, you kind of go, this is my interpretation of from what I saw, and I didn't see the full game at the time. I've seen the full game now, but I thought at the breakdown, New Zealand, I'd never seen New Zealand like that at a breakdown for a long time. I just thought at the breakdown they were absolutely ferocious.
Yeah, they were very good. They were, they didn't let us play as much rugby as we probably were doing against like say Scotland, which did whatever we really wanted, and they were very good there, but we still had so many opportunities. We could have scored scored 3 tries out there.
The missed kick at 25-17, Johnny, the penalty, the held up try.
Yeah,
I know. Bounce of a ball, mate.
It is. It's tough. Like, and no one ever means to make mistakes like that, do they? It's genuinely. I was very. I'd have to say sad. Like, I haven't been sad in my life for a while, but I was genuinely sad for a good week after. Like, it was such a good bunch of lads, and it was such a good opportunity, and we knew we were probably. I knew we didn't win. Like, it's toss a coin between us, France. So we genuinely could have won, and I don't think any Irish side could really have said that before.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it, you played 2 World Cup finals, South Africa and New Zealand. You already played those 2 games were worthy of being a World Cup final. Yep. You played 3 Tier 1 nations. England didn't play anyone really till they got to the semis. No disrespect to Argentina. Yeah. Argentina are a very good team, but my point is that you didn't do much wrong. No, and the thing about it is, the thing that, as a rugby fan watching it, like when the full-time whistle went, and I did see the full-time whistle, and I did see it, and I turned. I noticed myself, but it was a good loss. In terms of, you weren't out of the game after 55 minutes. It was a difficult defeat to take. It was really, really tough. But I genuinely was like, another day that was our win. But also, I was actually gutted. I wasn't gutted for me. This is the thing about, I think, why people love the squad so much, is that I actually said it to someone else, when you lost, I wasn't gutted for me. I was actually gutted for you.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a difference there when a squad has that much of a hold over a fan, is that I liked every single person in that squad. I liked the way they played. I liked their commitment, the trust as a fan you had in the players. You trusted I had in the management with Faz and Easterby and all them and Mike Catt and all that. And you kind of say, this is a team that is playing great rugby. They're confident. They come up against it. They're well able to deal with problems on the pitch when down to 14 or injuries, or you have, Van der Flier doing the bloody line out or whatever it is, or Gibson Park out in the wing and all that kind of stuff. What I'm trying to say is that we really liked you as a team.
No, you
know what I mean?
It's lovely.
Did that come across?
No, yeah, 100%.
Did that come across from the fans?
It's lovely to hear as well. And, I think Johnny put it out. It was like something we had as a team. I think we said it at the start of last, when we were in New Zealand anyway. What was the goal? Obviously, was win the World Cup, was to win the Grand Slam, do all that, win all these games. But we also wanted the thing was inspire a nation, genuinely try to get everybody behind us. And we finished and we genuinely felt like at least that was something we had achieved, because everybody did seem like they were all behind.
They were, yeah.
They were genuinely behind us, and it was very nice to be a part of.
But the thing is, you didn't do anything wrong. This is the thing that's kind of heartbreaking as well as a fan, is that you watch it and you watch you play, and what was it, 32 phases in the last play, and you kind of say to yourself there wasn't anything there that you can pick apart. And one thing I don't like about certain people in the media after the game, they were saying, maybe he went a bit too strong with Romania and Tonga. The players were a little bit leggy and tired and stuff like that. And I'm kind of looking at them going, no, these guys are fit guys. You hear stuff like that and you go, you've never played the game. I've never played the game. I can't tell you what you should have done. It's very easy for someone like me to say, well, this is what you should have done. Well, I'm not in camp. I'm not a professional rugby player. But to me, that team just looked like they came up against another brilliant team, and it was fine margins.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all it was.
It is fine.
It wasn't down to fitness.
No.
It wasn't down to who's more streetwise. It wasn't down to, Johnny Section should have been taken off at 65 minutes. It wasn't down to anything like that. It just, it was just 2 good teams, and somebody has to lose.
Yeah, I did see some of that after. I find it pretty laughable, and this has come from a guy that thought he could have played the first games, about they should have rotated the first. Romania was, I'm not this will sound like a massive disrespect to Romania, but it was basically a glorified captain's run. Like the lads were absolutely grand after that. It wasn't tough on the body at all. Fair enough, Tonga was a bit tougher, but the guys went 32 phases or 36 phases in the 83rd minute of a quarter final, and we're still able to do it. Like no one, the guys look leggy after, because there's about 2 teams in World Rugby that have done that, like gone 33 phases in a row. So it's not something that happens all the time. The fitness, it's just guys that probably don't know an awful lot about rugby trying to get something. They can
I just think it was 2 good teams and somebody has to lose. That's just the way I think. That's the way I look at it. After the game, you're in the dressing room. Obviously, I'm not naive to think that it's quiet and people are quiet and no one's really maybe talking and stuff like that. What's the message from Andy Farrell after the game? What's the comms like? What's he saying?
Just a thank you to everybody. Didn't really go too much into the game. Just said thanks. Basically a thank you to all the guys, and what an effort. Sport comes down to fine margins. It's not.
Was he upset? Could you tell he was upset when he was speaking to you?
He was no, he's pretty matter of fact. I'm sure everybody was probably a bit upset about it because it was such a good opportunity. But no, he wasn't upset when he was speaking. He's just, that's how it is, and just thanks for everybody. Thank you to everybody for everything over the last couple of years. It's been a great journey. And
it's mad, isn't it? How like that? Like
I know. It's a crazy thing, sport, isn't it?
Who was the first person that texted you after the loss on your phone? What was the first message you opened?
Oh, I don't know. Probably my wife.
Yeah.
Probably Hannah. No, she was there.
When you're in the dressing room, you kind of look at the phone and you're like, oh Jesus, it's like, oh fuck.
I didn't play, so it's not as bad. I probably my mum or dad. I'm sure some of the guys has a lot, like crazy amount of messages. Don't know how Johnny will ever get through all the messages he probably got. Like,
how was he? Obviously, that was his last game for Ireland.
Yeah, same as I know. I would have thought he'd be. I'm sure he was emotional, but he handled it really well. He, again, I think it was just like matter of fact. Like I'm sure it'll hit him at some stage that that's the last game he'll play. But no, he just same sort of thing. Just because he was like coach captain kind of that vibe when you're 38 years old, and you play that many games. No, he's good with everybody, and I don't think me and Johnny probably saw eye to eye that much when when I first started with Ireland, and I don't know, that was probably my fault more than his, but yeah, and like
why is that? Is that because you hear of players not seeing eye to eye? Is that because there's he's like, who are you coming in here thinking you can do a job, or are you going to be like, like how do you fall out, like, because you're all trying to get not fall out. My apologies.
I just say it wasn't like friendly, and
it was workmanlike, was it?
Yeah, and it was amazing how that sort of changed over the last couple of years. But I think that came down to my attitude as well. I probably was that young, arrogant sort of guy that thought he was better than everybody when I had one cap. But I think when you play rugby for so long and you've seen so many things and you have children and stuff, your perspective on these things changes.
And if you see that with a new young lad coming into the Ulster setup, people are like, hey mate, trust me.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there. Yeah, I've seen guys like that.
Yeah, well, just from like a rugby fan point of view, like, I think, you're only 31, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've done the World Cup, man. 35. Hey, if Johnny can do it at 38, 39, Johnny Sexton was drawing a pension at the World Cup, like. Do you know what I mean?
Johnny's Johnny, like Johnny's.
But like Australia is the next one in 2027. I suppose too far ahead to be thinking about stuff like that anyway now and stuff like that. But I must say, I'd say when you look back on it now, I mean, obviously you probably look back on it now, you're a bit disappointed and a bit sad about it. Like, but was it a good time?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very well done. Very well organised.
One thing, what was the entertainment? Was there entertainment brought into the hotel for you? Was there guest speakers? Did the President of Ireland send you a message? Did they bring in comedians?
Like, what? Where Andrew's trying to book a gig for himself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, but like, did you get any like special entertainment? Did like Bono come in or anything like that? Like, was there anything?
Yeah, Bono's
cool
been
done?
in before. Who's Bono's been before? Roy Keane's been in before.
What was he like?
Very good.
So what was he talking about?
Same sort of like he has his
stories, like
his stories that he does on his tour shows and stuff. I think he gave us a wee bit more, but That was a while ago. That
Was he like just saying about teamwork and the usual kind of thing, like, or was he talking about like, oh, when I chopped him, or was he talking about rugby and
no, we didn't. We just wanted like the good stories when he came on. He just gave us all like.
And was there an MC with him, like tapping him up? Go, tell me, Roy, about the time when you were
Johnny did it. I think Johnny did it.
Johnny Sexton.
Yeah, he's a big United fan. I think he did. He asked a few questions, the guys, and we all sent him things that we kind of wanted to.
How does he? Like, you all sit down. Is he standing up, or is he sitting down with you in the table?
I remember it was kind of like. Where was it? It was in like a team room, so he's just at the front on like a stool, and we were all just there. So
he's like a bloody stand-up comedian, isn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Is that funny?
Yeah. Have we got any comedians? No, we had guys. We didn't have guys over in France, so there wasn't that much entertainment there. We had like a good team room. We had a golf simulator. We had
pool, table tennis,
that sort of.
I mean, running books like in tournaments and games and all that kind of stuff, like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
yeah.
But did you find the evening time hard to kill the time and stuff?
Looking back,
or was there enough lads there to have the crack with?
Like? A lot of, you could do whatever you wanted. Like, it was, if you wanted to go down and have crack, there's people always wanting to have crack. If you want to go up to your room and just watch a movie, you could do that. Like, you could do whatever you wanted. You could go down there in the town, grab some food. You could. It wasn't. It was pretty chilled. It wasn't.
Did you share a room, or were you on your own?
Shared a room in Tour where we were based.
Who you with?
Tom Till. Very funny.
Good lad.
Yeah,
he's injured now, isn't he?
He said
he'll be back soon.
Very interesting injury. Yeah, you have to ask him about that if he ever comes on.
So, but did you have your own room then afterwards? Did we say, or did you swap?
So we'd stay in Tour from Monday to Thursday morning, and then we'd go to wherever the game was, and we'd get your own room there. And then when we left Tour on the Sunday, no, actually. Yeah, when did we leave? Sorry, I'm getting the weeks mixed up. But basically, after the Scotland game, you had your own room for that week of the
time off and stuff like that.
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was about half and half.
Yeah, mad. Well, listen, Stuart, thanks very much for coming in. To everyone listening as well, I know a lot of people will be interested in the Rugby and the Rugby World Cup to get a bit of an insight how it works and stuff like that. Really want to know what Peter O'Mahony said to Blair to Finn Russell now after we turn this off. But I suppose just as a rugby fan as well, as somebody I've been to a Rugby World Cup before. I've watched Munster many, many times. I've been down to Ulster and stuff and been to lots of Six Nations games. Can I have my money back that I spent from on the final because you didn't make it and I lost 350 quid? I'm only joking. I did this on the radio.
Lost 350 quid. Like,
I'm only joking. I'm joking. No, just as a rugby fan as well. I thought you were fantastic. Every single game you were brilliant. And this was the thing about the Rugby World Cup. You did nothing wrong. And that's and I suppose it's kind of, I've seen other games where, you're out of the game after 60 minutes and you're kind of, oh, well, we gave it a shot. You know what I mean? Whereas you guys, like, you could have won the whole thing on a flip of a coin and a knock on or a kick here and a side step here or a held up ball here. Fine margins, and any other day it would have been us, but you should be very proud of everything that you've done. You've done a lot of people really buzzing with you, and we're very excited about the future of Irish rugby with yourself and the Six Nations coming up. And thanks for doing it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for being part of the Irish squad, and thanks for giving me many, many great nights out over the World Cup, and more to come.
Not a problem. No, genuinely, I appreciate it. I know these comments get thrown around sometimes, but I think all the players genuinely appreciate it as well. Like we did feel it there, and it was nice. Even the reception when we got home, like everybody, I think, felt the same sort of sentiment that you had, where it was so close. It was a flip of the coin, and it was. Feel like we're a country that appreciates when a team gives a very, very good account of themselves and a good effort, and sometimes it is what you say, it's a flip of a coin. Yeah,
and you gave yourself a very good, honest account of yourself as well, which is very important as well, and people knew that as well. Cork of the North, thanks to everybody. Stuart McCLOSKEY, follow him on Instagram, catch up with him when he's playing with Ulster in Ireland and stuff like that. Delighted he came on to the podcast here. Great rugby fan here myself anyway, so it was great to get a little bit of an insight into the Rugby World Cup that was on. Anyway, thanks everybody. Cork of the North, don't forget, subscribe to the Patreon, come to the live show, we really do appreciate it. Like, share your comments below and stuff like that, and we'll talk to you all again soon.